we wanted to also see inside.
Well, you can see the Rachel Ray Show every day right here on WGN at 10 o'clock in the morning. This morning, she's joining us live from New York to answer your cooking questions. Good morning, Rachel.
Morning.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good to see you. I know you got a lot of great stuff coming up this month on your show, but we have to, of course, ask you a couple of viewer questions because every time they hear you're coming on the show, they have cooking questions. So Regina wrote in and said, what is the best filler for meatloaf, meatballs, etc.? Breadcrumbs, crackers, or cornflakes? Or any of those?
None of the above. I actually like to use stale bread, and I think we all spend so much money on the fancy breads. Even in the regular grocery stores now, you have these great artisan breads that you can bring home, and they're terrific, but you end up with little ends, and you throw that money right into the garbage. So I save them in my freezer, and I use them to make my own homemade breadcrumbs, or to make a moist bread to crumble up and add to meatloaf. The trick is to take the stale bread, cut the crusts off, put it in a bowl, tear it up, soak it in milk. I like whole milk. And then as you're adding it, you squeeze out the excess liquid and sort of mill it between your fingers, and it just falls into the bowl, and it's nice and light and moist. And I use that for both meatloaf and for my meatballs.
That's a lot of work.
From Nadine, how come all jalapenos are not the same? Sometimes they are spicy and sometimes they are like nothing.
Yeah. Any chili pepper, a lot of the heat lives in the seeds and the ribs of the chili. So if you want to make any chili milder, remove the ribs and the seeds before you chop it up or process it or stuff it or whatever you're doing with it. If you like your food spicier or hotter, leave all of that in there, and you're going to get the most heat possible out of the jalapeno.
All right, one more.
Jalapenos are kind of a medium of the road. They're not too hot, though.
Jason says recipes on cooking shows usually call for kosher salt instead of table salt. What's the difference, and what difference does it make?
Table salt is very fine, and most home cooks today tend to use kosher salt, which I think kosher salt's especially delicious with meats. It makes a nice crust on the meat. A lot of people choose sea salt as well, which has a more minerally flavor to it. Or some people use fine sea salt to finish, and kosher to, season meats and salt water. I keep my salt on the counter here at the show, kosher, and the salt in the grinder is sea salt. Most people don't use the super fine table salt. You tend to over salt when you use the iodine, table salt.
Well, what do you have coming up on the show this month?
The lingerie segment sounds particularly interesting, Rachel, if we start there maybe.
This week, I think all of the men, we may change our demographics pretty substantially on Thursday's show. We have Kendra Wilkinson on, and she's got a very interesting challenge for a couple of couples. I can't even believe it's going to be on daytime, but you have to tune in to see what I'm talking about.
She's
there.
the former Playboy Playmate, right, Kendra?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Very beautiful. Yeah, she's got an interesting challenge for a couple of couples. And then we have the Double Divas. The Double Divas are going to do a lingerie makeover for husbands who are buying for their wives. And all the guys are out there buying the lingerie as a gift to themselves, but they rarely think of the actual woman that has to wear the lingerie once they bring it home. So we're going to do 3 lingerie makeovers that are pretty shocking. Pretty shocking and amazing. I mean, the women end up looking amazing. We have the bravest viewers in the world. So you'll see a lot of people will see a lot of themselves and what they wear underneath their clothes on Thursday's show.
Isn't it the point of the lingerie, though, what does the woman care? As long as her husband likes it, what difference does it make to the woman what the lingerie is?
Well, you do want her to be successful in being able to wear it, to be able to fit into it and put it on and actually, no, trust me, you have to watch the show. You will agree with me. It works out much better than it would have otherwise for these 3 fellas. Trust me.
I got to think, if it's loose fitting, she's still going to look like a whore, though, right?
Rachel, I apologize. I'm dealing with two morons.
No. It's going to be very tasteful and.
We don't want tasteful.
Say, Rachel.
We don't want tasteful.
Well, that everybody will watch on Thursday. That's for sure.
We're going to be watching.
Rachel,
thanks, Rachel.
You're going to be DVRing it, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Coming up tomorrow.